Lindy's missing some toes.
It's beautiful. It's like a full-size home. Yeah.
This is like a snake. He wears pajamas. He's like, why are you talking about my butt? And Chivo got it.
We're here at the Gabriel Foundation in Elizabeth, Colorado, the most incredible parrot sanctuary in the USA. Today you're going to meet parrots with powerful stories. Every parrot has a past, but here they have a future. Let's go check it out. You can hear the birds already. They're calling to me. They know it's me. This is Building A of the Gabriel Foundation. Hi, how are you? Pleasure to meet you. Yes, I'm Mark.
Nice to meet you. I'm Kira. We're getting into your territory. This is our
Oh,
gray
awesome.
room.
Fantastic. Wow, this is phenomenal.
Hi. Albert, he's hissing over there. He came from a hoarding case that had 600 snakes. I think it was like 500 or 600 snakes or reptiles. So he hisses like a snake.
That is so funny.
Incredible mimics.
Yes.
They do the microwave, can do the sound of our walkie-talkies, and they all can toot. So they all make like little fart raspberry sounds.
Do you tend to see pair bonding amongst the group?
They do really well in this environment. Like they like socializing with the other grays, but I feel like it's less common for us to see the grays pair bond with each other.
Okay.
I don't know why.
You know what I'm thinking could be the case? The imprinting. Typically when grays are very imprinted, they only see people as a potential mate and everyone else is just, every other bird is just another creature.
Yeah, just some guy.
Yeah.
All of the birds in here are macaws. They kind of go out and socialize with their neighbors and birds that they're familiar with. This kiddo over here on the wall is very into running after people. It's Indra.
Okay.
Anytime I come in here, he goes onto the ground and then we'll go after people's feet.
Really?
So
Wow.
Indra makes his way over. Hello. I can just
Wow, he's putting on a show for us now.
I know. He step up. Well, I need to put you here. I know, I'm sorry about that. Super nice for them to just have more space, have access to fresh air, sunlight, different foraging opportunities.
Yes.
That is Sassy and Monty. They're both amputees.
Wow.
Sassy had that upper beak amputated after it was bitten off by a green wing macaw.
Wow.
And then Monty had a spinal fracture and had his tail amputated.
Wow.
And for whatever reason, they love each other.
I know there's many different reasons why a bird can pluck. Do you find that it's reversible in some scenarios, or do you find that once the behavior is set in stone, let's say with the previous home, it's hard to break that habit?
Once it starts, it can be quite difficult to stop. However, we try to address and make sure there's no underlying health condition. It does kind of depend on the level of follicular damage, whether or not those feathers will grow back. Like Monty up there has some of those like fluffy, like more fluffy down feathers in certain areas because the follicles are not damaged to the point where the feather won't grow back, but they grow back as fluffy instead of their normal contour feathers. You've got someone here like Ty who's bald. Highly doubt that Ty's head feathers would ever grow back.
This one he's missing the claw, right? Was that due to another bird?
Yeah, Lindy's missing a whole foot. I think it was potentially bitten off by another bird. You can see Lindy's missing some toes there as well. Some of those things can be due to injury by other bird. Come here, love. Ricky is one of our kiddos that mutilates on his chest.
Okay.
He has to wear protective gear.
Got it.
So you can see he wears pajamas that cover his chest. They wrap around his back. They have little legs, and then he also wears a collar.
Does he preen that?
He can get to his mutilative spot with his toes.
Wow.
His mutilation spot used to be really large. He had a large tumor on his chest as well that had to be surgically removed. But since then, they've completely healed, and he just looks so different than he used to. Rex and Marimba here are a bonded pair, so they're able to share a cage.
Oh, that's a very interesting name, Marimba. If I wanted to sponsor a bird, I could sponsor an individual or a pair, and then from there, you guys would send updates and stuff like that?
Yeah. Sometimes people will sponsor a bird in honor of one of their birds that they've loved. Sometimes we have birds that require special medical care, and so people might have a soft spot for those special needs birds. Sometimes people will just sponsor the flock. This is Saul and Rio.
Saul and Rio.
Hi.
I'm curious about the adoption process because I know it's probably a strenuous process on how you guys, vet and qualify someone to adopt a bird. So what is that like?
We adopt to people of all experience level, whether
Yeah.
they've had birds for decades or whether they're just getting into it.
Yeah.
There is an educational course that goes along with our application. It's called the BBB. It's Beyond Birds Basics. Education on health and anatomy. It has diet and nutrition, enrichment, and behavioring training. After that, we do a Zoom call with our adopters and kind of set up a game plan for when they come for their in-person visits. The first visit is kind of like speed dating. We kind of formulate a small pool of birds that they might be interested in. We try to find a harmonious match for both the adopter and the bird.
I think that's so cool. You guys are, educating and, just providing knowledge about bird keeping and encouraging people to adopt and continue to keep birds.
Yeah, this is a cockatoo bird.
Okay.
We lovingly refer to them as floor sharks because they will go for the feet and the ankles.
Amazing. That's a Moluccan cockatoo. They're beautiful.
Yeah. Jesse, no. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Excuse you. Ah! They can be so funny, they can be so personable, but they can also be so difficult to work with sometimes. This room has more of our sulfur cresteds.
Oh, okay.
Hi! Woo!
This is amazing.
There's a lot of cockatoos in this one that are in cages, and that's
Got
because
it.
they all bicker with each other.
There's so much creative toys and activities going on here. Do you guys make all of these toys yourself or do you purchase?
We make a lot of the enrichment just because it is more cost effective to
Yeah.
do so. We'll buy pool noodles in bulk, cut them into like little pool noodle ringlets. These are all casino cards. They're only able to use the cards once in the casinos and they have to like laser them afterwards, and so they donate them to us. Some of our toys are just old book that was strung on something so they can kind of shred and work at that.
They don't know the difference between a $50 toy and a $1 toy. They just have a blast.
They don't.
Great variety, different shapes, sizes, and textures. You guys cover it all.
Yeah. This is where we keep all of our like toy making supplies. These are cardboard tubes with holes in them for us to use. A endless box of like pool noodle. We have sisal rope, little cardboard rolls. People donate their cardboard boxes to us. We're really lucky to get large newspaper donations from our Gazette. They donate all of their unwanted paper to us, so that's super helpful. A lot of our birds can be really rough on their cages, and so we do a lot of cage repair.
Nice.
Our wheels that we have. We ask people to drink more wine so that we can corks, extra boings. These are more like small bird toys.
Okay.
Some of which are donated, some of which were made.
It's literally like a bird store back here. You got everything you need.
Yeah. The Boy Scouts get these old fire hoses donated from our fire departments.
Oh, cool.
And then they braid them into these giant fire hose ropes for us to put in the
That's
flights.
perfect. This is amazing. Coming from New York City, just seeing an amazing enclosure like
it's
this, it's like,
probably
wow.
so different.
Yeah, it's like a full-size home.
Sometimes it can take a little bit for birds to get used to this, but being around other flock members I feel like helps because they can see other birds do things and kind of mimic some of that behavior.
Exactly.
We do try to go at their pace as much as humanly possible.
Got it.
All of our like food storage. This is like the mash that we feed in the morning. It's just a mixture of grains, lentils, legumes, vegetables, and they have this in their cage for about an hour in the morning. Grains have the tendency to grow bacteria when left at room temperature for an extended period of time, which is why we only have this in their cages for an hour. We see in the wild that birds are often foraging during the cooler parts of the day, so in the morning and the evening. So we try to mimic that by doing like a breakfast and a dinner.
Interesting. And do you add different vitamins and supplements to the food, or do you go all natural, whole food diet?
We do sesame seed, chia seed, flax seed, and then hemp oil, just for those EFAs that they have in there.
Exactly.
We're using this right now. It has a very strong hempy smell.
Nice.
We have hippie birds out here.
Yeah.
For pellets, we use a lot of Missouri, Lefebvre, Zucchine. They get some nuts with their food, and then they also get a salad on top of that. This is our salad that we feed. We have a lot of beets, carrots, crucifers, vegetables in here.
Considering 250 birds on the property, how much food do you guys go through a month? in terms of pounds? What are we talking
Oh my
here?
God. This amount will last about 3 days. I don't even know how to quantify that in
That's
pounds.
amazing.
It's
gotta
a lot.
be.
It's a lot of food.
Some say macaws, African greys, need a higher fat diet. Do you add more nuts to their food, or how do you guys typically change it based on the species?
We have certain species that have need for like higher lipid content. So like our hyacinths need more fat in their diet. So they get these mac nuts. Our macaws will get more like walnuts and Brazil nuts, things like that, that are a little bit higher in fat content. We have birds that are quite picky. We have birds that come to us that have rarely eaten vegetables in their life. We will do the shelled nuts on like the bottom of the bowl. When they're rifling through trying to get the nuts, sometimes salad will end up in their mouth during that process.
So you guys don't cut any corners when it comes to diet. That's
we try not to. It's such an important part of their health. We see so many birds that have fatty liver disease, atherosclerosis, all sorts of medical issues, and I feel like a lot of that stems from poor diet. We have a lot of kiddos on vasodilators and things like that. More macaws. Hello.
That's a nice display by him there.
Oh yeah, that's Chopper.
I know you have the birds that are, here as lifelong sanctuary members, but I know there are some birds that just aren't adoptable. What exactly would cause that? What exactly are the parameters?
We do try to match people with birds that are well suited for their experience level. These guys, technically, yes, they are available for adoption, but would probably go to someone that has experience with macaws specifically. Chopper doesn't step up on a hand very well, can bite very severely. So Chopper might not be the best option for someone that has never owned a parrot before, for someone with like small children. At the end of the day, we want our birds to stay in the homes that they're placed in. This is our building C. When people go on vacation, it's nice they can bring their birds to us, know that they're being well cared for. Some of our birds are protected and endangered species. So these are blue-throated macaws. So they're in our sanctuary program due to their species. This is Rocco, so he's one of our blue-throats, and he was the last bird to enter into our sanctuary program. He's kind of a monster sometimes, though.
Since they're endangered, I can't actually cross state lines. Is that the case?
Yeah, so there are certain birds that we are unable to adopt across state lines. Military macaws being one of those. They have to be adopted in-state, which also makes it more difficult for us. And there are a number of other species that are restricted as well.
Got it.
This area has become kind of wildernessy.
I'm sure they love it.
Hi, loves.
Do you separate the males from the females? Are there different flights?
For whatever reason, we do have a higher number of male umbrella cockatoos, maybe due to some of their intensity. Hi! Cindy came over to say hi.
That's the lesser sulfur crested?
Yes. He's so much more petite.
Yes.
He's so much more petite.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Yeah, he's a handsome guy. Sometimes it can be really hard for us to find placement for our kiddos. Now we can look in here and not get chased on the ground. Ziggy, he's one of our prolapsed kiddos. That can of course be caused by excessive touch, some of those hormonal triggers. That's something that we see a lot with our cockatoo owners, unfortunately. Managing cloacal prolapses can be incredibly expensive. One of our clients has recently spent, I think, like $20K on surgeries for his bird because she has just a really complicated case. He gets his booty butt washed every day, which is not super fun or glamorous.
Is he able to defecate, or does it have to be?
He is.
Oh, he is. Okay.
It can get worse if he has to strain his cloaca, because then it gets more pushed out, and you can see there's like some buildup of poop around his vent, and that's just from a day of pooping as a bird.
Got it.
We're raising funding for him to have a cloacoplasty. Unfortunately, he wasn't a full candidate for a cloacoplasty because he strained and popped the stitches and the prolapse came back out. We can try again. We can look at other options, but these kinds of things can be very complicated to manage. I definitely don't fault an owner who feels maybe a little over their head. You guys can be kind of complicated.
I don't think he likes us talking about his vent like that.
I know, he's like, why are you talking about my butt?
The surrenders that are into the sanctuary program, that's forever, for life. So it's a one-time fee. at that time?
Normally they will make a placement fee, and we can kind of work with people based on like their financial status and what they are able to afford. It's really important for us to find sponsorships for all of our birds.
And do you find that a lot of people are sponsoring the birds here?
We definitely have a really large pool of incredible donors. We have some people that donate thousands of dollars every year. We also have some people that donate just maybe like $10 a month, and that is just as important as our large donors.
Certainly.
We really hope that people choose to support our foundation just because they align with our ethos and they see how much we care for our birds and how much we love our birds.
Definitely. What is something that the foundation needs the most of?
Oh my gosh, I would say toy supplies is one of my favorite things, just to keep up on that enrichment, to add some variety for our birds. Things like buying pellets for our kiddos is really helpful. And people can also donate to capital campaigns, like if we're renovating a building or renovating a flight, that can be really helpful as well. Dakota! Hi, beauty queen. So this is an African species.
Right.
You don't see the Vasa parrots as often just because they're less commonly owned.
Yeah.
They're really beautiful. They have kind of like a vulture look to them almost.
They are so interesting. It's almost like they're not a parrot, but they are, right?
Yeah. She's a little capey, zesty little thing.
Yes, their plumage is just so beautiful just being outside. It's amazing.
Yeah. Blue yellowknate. Have you ever seen one before?
Oh, wow.
Beautiful. That's Rio. He's stunning.
I saw you had farm animals. A llama, is that right?
We have a handful of llamas, mini horses, we have goats, we have sheep. You probably saw Fergie, who is our alpaca. Those are our llamas.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, squamdiliumptus. Hi, loves. Treetop is very nice.
Nice.
Nice job, Chivo.
Nope.
No, just pet. That's okay.
Wow.
This is our memorial garden dedicated to all of the birds that have been in our care that aren't with us anymore. For Gabriel, of course. Benches here so we can remember all of the birds that have impacted us. It's nice to be able to chat with other aviculturists and get different perspectives on things and talk about all the fun stuff that we do out here.
Definitely. Thanks for all that you do. Okay, guys, you've seen it all. We're here at the Gabriel Foundation. Kira gave us the grand tour and we've seen absolutely everything. They're wonderful birds, the amazing outdoor enclosures, the diet that they're feeding these birds, and the love that they give them every single day. Now, of course, we have to support organizations that are furthering this mission to take care of parrots and do the right thing by these creatures that we have tamed. Now, what can we do to help? We can make donations to the organization. We can sponsor a bird that you may be fond of. And lastly, continue to subscribe to the African Grey Journal because we're going to continue to support organizations that are doing great work in the industry. This is the African Grey Journal. We'll see you next week.